everybody, welcome to the Future Stars forecast on this 2-year-old Tuesday. We had an action-packed weekend. Oh my gosh. I mean, from Santa Anita to Belmont to Longchamp. I mean, it was just race after race of winning your in action. I'm going to focus. Yes, I know we had the ARC run, but I'm going to focus on the 2-year-olds, the juveniles. And I'm actually going to bring reinforcements since there were so many races to help me out. And who better than the one, the only, hubby, Matt Carruthers. What's up?
Hey, can you see my
Ooh, Breeders' Cup. Nice. I like that you're representing the Breeders' Cup. So, I mean, it was just, again, it was race after race, punching tickets to the big dance November 5th. I don't know if any performance stood out to you, but we're going to go over these races. I'm going to show you the replays. And if you hear any noise in the background, as always, when I have Matt on, that's our 3-year-old daughter.
She's the peanut gallery. Yep.
So, let's start off talking about the West Coast horses and the Speakeasy Stakes. This was a 5-furlong turf sprint, a win you're in for the juvenile turf sprint. And it was won by a horse named One Timer. He was making the 3rd start of his career. I mean, he debuted. This is his first start on turf, by the way. The prior 2 goes were on synthetic, first at Arlington and then at Woodbine over the Tapeta over there. That debut, I mean, he won it by 12.5 lengths. And then in the Victoria Stakes there at Woodbine, he won by 3 3/4. So pretty dominant. Trained by Larry Ravelli, owned by Patricia's Hope and Richard Raven, and bred by St. Simon Place. This horse is a gelding, by the way, so they kind of got to be kicking themselves a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was curious because normally a horse wins by 1 million lengths first out at a place like Arlington, the phone's going to start ringing off the hook for Larry Ravelli, right?
Yes.
I'm guessing there was still some interest because the performance was so dominant moving ahead, but obviously not as much interest had the horse not been a gelding. But this is cool because Larry Ravelli has been, you mentioned the word dominant, I think about 30 seconds ago. He has been the dominant trainer in Chicago forever. And obviously a lot of people shedding tears a couple of weeks ago, Arlington Park last day. And he's a guy I believe was leading trainer for the meeting and something, leading trainer often. So for Arlington to close, obviously, Larry Ravelli's training career has not closed, and he's still going to be a dominant force. And he has a really fast 2-year-old, in a $100,000 stake race like this, and winning you're in for the juvenile turf sprint, you'd expect there to be a lot of speed on paper. And there was, as you'd expect, but as we'll show you in a second, One Timer was just a little bit faster.
One of the things I do want to bring to people's attention, well, 2 things, actually. I want you to watch the start of the race because he didn't get away from the gate so cleanly. He and Forbidden Kingdom had a little kerfuffle. But not only that, but he was high-weighted in this race, carrying 122. So he was spotting Time to Party Forbidden Kingdom like 4 pounds. They were carrying 118. The horse carrying the second highest weight was Miss Alacrity, actually. A little swummy bit of an angle for you. I know you love Alacrity. She was carrying 119. But I do think that's worth bringing up in this regard when we're talking about, juveniles. You got E.T. Baird in the irons, his regular rider. You certainly did not make money off this race, but it sure was exciting. Again, watch the beginning, check out those fractions. He puts in a half in 43 2. Pretty impressive. We'll watch the replay, get reaction, talk pedigree, and hope you enjoy. So here we go. This is the Speakeasy Stakes, a win, and you're in for the juvenile turf sprint featuring One Timer. Oops, I accidentally clicked it over. Here we go.
This horse runs big too. Time to Party.
Now, are we going to go full screen here, Matt, or do you want to stay in?
We can stay for this. Okay. I look at. Yeah, he didn't break that well. You see the 7 horse kind of shoot out of the gate and then kind of throw her head around a little bit. Yeah. I thought she ran big in this race because she was a pretty good price right now. So now there's your eventual winner, going sort of going to the lead. Back, on the inside, right to her outside is the favorite, right? Yeah, they were both 9-5. Forbidden Kingdom. Wesley's filly Miss Alacrity. I know we love us some W squared, but
Yeah.
she didn't fire at all. And so Miss Alacrity, perfect trip, nothing. And all of a sudden, one timer, next thing you know, she's 2.5 in front of Forbidden Kingdom. And the 7-horse Time to Party, some problems early on. You throw the head around, you're on the lead, you drop back, you come on again. She runs well. She's making a little bit of noise here at the end of the race.
Yeah.
But it's still, E.T. Baird never asked her. That's what you call, I don't know what the margin of victory was. It was a full length or 3 parts, but slightly misleading because he knew the race was over, absolutely over, probably about a furlong and a half from the wire.
Now, here's a question for you. The buyer here only comes back a 70. In his previous 2 starts on the synthetic, he notched an 80 both times. What do you make of that? Especially when, that was pretty honestly run. What do you make of the figure there? I know it's hard without going, look at the card itself.
It is hard. It is. It's difficult because I'm guessing, again, it's always great speculating. You don't know. This was probably the only 5/8 turf race on the card. Mm-hmm. Maybe there was another one. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's tough to compare if there's nothing to compare it to.
There was a maiden special weight in race 3
at 5/8.
Yes. And that was won by Elevado. But I don't know what that figure was. I'd have to go back and check.
You see
the final time? Yes, I do see the time. The final time was 55 and 4100, so 55 and 2. They also they carved out pretty 21 and 1, 43 and 3, 55 and 2, as I said.
So it's comparable to this race, sounds like.
Yes. And again, that was a main special weight.
There you go.
So
that answers a little bit, I think. But it is difficult when there's 0, or in this case, even 1 isn't really, it's tough to compare. Yeah. So, but again, the buyer's also based on, raw final time.
Yes.
And as I just mentioned before, Baird never, I know they have the whip rules in place, but I don't think he touched the horse once.
Yeah.
I don't think he did. So he could have touched the horse once, a couple of times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the margin could have been more significant. And if it was a little bit more significant, then the buyer's higher.
How impressive is it to you to see a young horse basically take heat while riding the rail like that?
Yeah, especially when it's the 9-5 favorite. That's the horse that's, the other 9-5. So you put away on going into the race, it looks like you have to be 2 horses, Forbidden Kingdom and Miss Alacrity. You completely put away Forbidden Kingdom. That allows Miss Alacrity, one of a couple of fillies in this race. There was 2 others, so 3 of the 7 were fillies in this race. That enabled Miss Alacrity to have a perfect trip, and she didn't fire. Yeah. So maybe she just didn't fire. But you do put away the Mandela horse, Forbidden Kingdom, American Pharaoh horse, who went for $300,000, who was very impressive on dirt in his debut, and by American Pharaoh, you would think would handle the turf. So it was, if you're going to have a really good win with a buyer 70, it's going to be where you show speed, but you're not by yourself. You put away the main rival you have to put away, and you're not touched late, and you win fairly easily. So as 70 buyers go, I thought it was pretty good.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this pedigree, because I think it's pretty good too. He's the son of Trap Shot. Trap Shot's the son of Tap It. And then the dam here, she's my Blame. Now, I will say this. Her name is Spanish Star. She was unraised, but you know who her half-brother is? Belmont winner Sir Winston.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So how fun is that, right? Yes. And not only that, but the maternal second dam, so that's his grandmother, that's La Grande Valedora. She won the Grade 3 Kentucky Cup Distaff. She picked up a Grade 1 placing. She got the Shodo and the Juddmonte Spinster. And then the great-grandmother there, that's a firm dancer. She was also a stakes winner. She won the My Charmer. She was also second in the Grade 3 Gallarette Handicap. And this then brings us to the next dam. And I always have a hard time saying this horse's name. Forgive me. It's Woolamulu, 1997's sovereign champion grass mare. So it's a really nice pedigree. It actually, I wrote up an article on the Speakeasy, the winners of the Speakeasy, the Chandelier, and the American Pharoah. I get very in depth regarding the pedigree. And you can check that out at breederscup.com. I will say it's kind of exciting because the pedigree extends back to a foundation mare named Chalandri. And that line, it's really prolific. I mean, it's responsible for Breeders' Cup champions like Alphabet Soup, who won the 96 Classic, High Chaparral. You'll remember he won the 2002 Turf, and then he dead heated with Johar in 2003.
I was there. Remember.
That's right. You also got Tepin as part of this family. She, of course, won the 2015 Mile. Dre Fong, who won the 2016 Sprint. And then current Group in Grade 1 winners like Poetic Flair and Meltat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a very nice family. And so there you go. One-timer winning the Speakeasy Stakes, a win and you're in for the Juvenile Turf Sprint. Well, I have a minute. Oh, hi, Ren. Oh, Matt. Hi, I guess. LOL. He also goes on to say 3 great things about Matt: Minnesotan, Vikings fan, and Ren. I think you'll
not order though. It'll be Minnesotan, Ren, Vikings fan. No, I'm kidding.
Roshan says, great show on Tuesdays. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Okay, now let's move on to the Grade 2 Chandelier Stakes, won by Ain't Easy. You had Joel Rosario in the irons for this. Obviously, win and you're in for the Juvenile fillies. And let me just get my other little page up here that I want to look at. Now, this filly, Ain't Easy, she made it look pretty easy, I would say, in this race. She was just making the second start of her career. She originally debuted at Del Mar, sprinting 5.5 furlongs, picked up a 74 buyer on debut, winning by 5 1/4 lengths, trained by Phil D'Amato. And, you know, she's actually one of 3 in here, I believe, for D'Amato, who also had Desert Dawn as well as Elm Drive in the race. But she was by far of the 3, the most logical. Morning line there was 5-2. And, you know, we also, Grace Adler, for whatever reason, your 9-5 favorite, she did not fire. So we'll have to take a look back at this replay. But as far as the other connections go, she was bred by Spendthrift Farm. So you already know she's going to have great pedigree. Owned by Old Bones Racing Stable, Michael Lombardi, and Joey Platts. I almost feel like I should say that like more like Joey Platts. So here we go. This is Ain't Easy, again with Joel Rosario in the irons, winning the Grade 2 Chandelier Stakes, a win and you're in for the Juvenile fillies. And I have to share the screen first. Let's see here.
Loading quickly. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Chandelier. Electric Ride comes out first. Dance to the music, hooks up with her immediately. Elm Drive has sharp speed too.
Yeah, with her pedigree,
In the early going.
I don't recall it, but how difficult must that debut race been going in? I mean, she was 8-1.
Right.
With Joel.
And she's a $400,000 yearling.
Exactly. She was 8-1. And I love the fact that, you know, she's such a pro.
Sitting there boxed in on the rail.
Already. Yeah. I mean, you know, obviously a lot of these horses, when they go into the Breeders' Cup, not all of them, but they just beat their opposition with quickness and gait speed and athleticism. You know, but look at her kind of inch her way through on the inside without even getting really nudged by Joel in this spot. Right now, I mean, you can just look at the hands on the other right. This race is over at this point. I mean, there's something bizarre has to happen for her not to win at this point, and obviously that did not occur in the running of this race. But yeah, the ability to rate at 5.5 in the debut and then stretch out and then do it again, that's also something that, because you rate at 5.5 doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it going 2 turns. This is a perfect second start of her career. So now Joel's going to, you know, kind of nudge her a little bit at this point. Yeah, kind of just show her the stick, really. I mean, just, okay, this is what this is. I didn't show it to you in the debut, probably.
Yeah.
I probably have to show it to you in a month. I want you to be prepared. And that was a triple hammerlock late. That's, I mean, I'm not privy to all the opposition in terms of the juvenile fillies at this point, but this is a major player based on 2 starts and based on the fact that she's going the right direction. And you would think that she's going to be better. The only question is, better in the 3rd start of her career. And we don't have to worry about the surface change from Sandia Del Mar because her debut was at Del Mar.
Yeah, very true. And that's a great point to make. So you can see the final time there, 1:45 and 1.
It was nice.
Very nice debut. To follow up her debut.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I will say, I mean, all these horses, like we've already gone over. I mean, when you're $400,000 yearling and you're buying into Mischief, you already know it's a great pedigree, right? And you're out of a fast rock mare here named Ameristralia, which is a fun name. So to give you some more insight into the pedigree, Ameristralia, who is the dam again of Ain't Easy, she's a full sister to Fiano Romano, who is a multiple Group 3 winner in Japan. He won the Lord Derby Challenge Trophy as well as the Keihan High. The filly second dam, that's her Ashley. And you recall her, I
do.
Her Ashley. Yeah, for sure. And, the other thing about her, I mean, she was a multiple Grade 3 winner. She won the Miss Preakness, for example. But what's also interesting about her, she's also a half sister to a Grade 1 Gold Cup winner in Coolmore's Cupid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think it's actually pretty fun when you think about it, because Cupid actually sired one of the other fillies in the race and one of the other D'Amato horses. So it's kind of fun from that perspective as well. Now, as far as the female family of Ain't Easy, if you go on back, it actually tails to Hall of Famer Gallarette. So, I mean, it's super deep. And, Gallarette's own grandmother, Flambette, was also a blue hen mare. It's a line that's responsible for some, major superstars, including some Breeders' Cup Classic winners like St. Liam, who won it in 2005, Ravens Pass, who won it in 2008, and Gun Runner, who won it in 2017. So isn't that pretty cool when you put that all together?
That is pretty cool. Yeah, and you mentioned a lot of really good horses over the last minute or two that did different things at different distances too. Yeah. So you love the versatility and the options you would think that they have moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. And, we're going to be talking about Gun Runner more in just a bit because, right here, Rashawn goes on to say, Ain't Easy will beat Echo Zulu in the juvenile. Echo Zulu, daughter of Gun Runner. So it's kind of fun. You got the daughter of Gun Runner and then the filly Ain't Easy from the family that helped produce Gun Runner.
Yeah, I'm not going to agree with that statement necessarily, but I'm not going to disagree with it either. I'm not disagreeing with that.
You got to take your shots when it comes to the Breeders' Cup, I guess, right? I will say Ain't Easy's buyer came back in 81.
Solid.
Definitely solid. Again, just the second start of her career. We will be showing you the Frizette Stakes won by Echo Zulu in just a bit. Before we get to that, we're going to show you the American Pharoah Grade 1 winning you're in for the Breeders' Cup TVG Juvenile presented by the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance.
All right, I have one issue to do over here. I'll be back in like 10 seconds.
One issue he needs to tend to, I'm guessing, has something to do with our 3-year-old.
Yeah, it'll be like 10 seconds.
Okay. Hopefully she's not destroying the house. I did let her have some crayons before we started the show. I made sure she had paper on which to color. Hopefully she has not decided to take that artistry to the walls, because she has done that in the past. And actually, if anybody's out there who has had this happen to them and has any tips as to how to get crayon off their walls, please let me know. If you don't want to tell me now, you can always tweet at me at Ren Carruthers, and we can get that all sorted out. Are our walls okay?
Yeah, we'll see. I have a feeling I might have to go again for a longer period of time in a couple minutes. But
has she absconded?
Yes.
Oh, Ava. I think we're okay though. Playroom absconded?
I believe so. Out of sight.
Oh no! Well, we don't want a 3-year-old out of sight. You know what?
I heard her a second ago.
Oh, okay.
So I
then
heard
we're
her
okay.
voice.
So Everett says, hello, you two. Truman, enjoying.
Everett and Truman, two great names.
Love the pedigree analysis, Ren. Matt's got Minnesota. That's yes.
Minnesota.
Hello, everyone there. Good race. Yes, Lenora, we agree. Now, let's take a look at, this is a horse that, another horse just making the second start of their career to get their ticket punched to Future Stars Friday on this same Santa Anita card, Corniche. Corniche, when he debuted a 4.25 length winner, sprinting 5.5 furlongs at Del Mar. So here we have that same scenario in which the horse has already been over the surface where they will be contesting Breeders' Cup. He broke from the 10 hole, sprinting a 5.5 furlong main special weight there. Under Mike Smith, Big Money Mike, and for Bob Baffert and Corniche. I just real quick before we show you the race, I will say this also. I think he's pretty fittingly named because the ownership is Speedway Stables. Corniche is a model of a Rolls Royce. So I think the naming here was pretty clever, especially when your sire is Quality Road. He takes the field here from the jump and all the way to the wire, to the winner's circle, winning by 3.25 lengths for the official margin. And we'll talk more about the stats after we come back from the replay. So let's go ahead, show you Corniche in the Grade 1 American Pharoah Stakes, a win and you're in for the TVG Juvenile, presented again by the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance.
Yeah, and Baffert also had Rockefeller.
Yes.
In this race, who, Medaglia d'Oro of Speightstown went for, a cool $750,000 at the Keeneland September sale last year when he was a yearling. And there's Corniche, breaks with alacrity. Alacrity and goes right to the front. And there's the other Baffert, Rockefeller in second.
There was a trio. He had 3 horses in there.
Well, that's right.
Yeah. Rockefeller and Flying Drummer, the 2 horse.
Right. And that's the Cassie horse, Papa Cap.
Cap, another son of Gunrunner.
He was floated fairly wide going into the first turn, courtesy of Rockefeller. And now Corniche is he's in a stride beautifully at this point. He was 1-5 in a 10-horse field in his debut. You don't see that too often.
Right.
1-2, excuse me. 1-2 in a 10-horse field is fairly unheard of for a first-time starter, especially to give you an idea. You already mentioned the hype, but they bet the horse to that hype, and he lived up to the hype in that race. And right now, look at his hands. Look at the hands of Pratt. Yeah. Right now, Mike Smith barely is moving, and Pratt is already doing this at this point in the race. So you're pretty much convinced that Pratt has no chance of getting by Mike because Mike's not trying yet. Pratt is trying. He's making up no ground while one's trying, one's not. And everyone else from behind is up and down right now. So there's one shot, slight shot, and for about 2 or 3 seconds, maybe you think Papa Cap can do it. And right here, once Mike starts to ask a little bit, here comes the class. And I know the figure didn't come back. It was 85, I think, right? This is more your deal than mine by a mile, but it looks like he extends himself really well late, right?
Yeah, and it was just all at will. 85 buyers relative to how did he do it? And it just looked like he was finishing up his race, no problem. Final time, 144, 75, 100, so that's 144 and 3. You did see Papa Cap, the son of Gunrunner, get up for second there. Papa Cap had previously he had picked up a grade 2 win back in the Best Pal Stakes, Papa Cap. And then he was 4th in the Del Mar Futurity behind Pinehurst, Phineas, and American Experiment. But, by the way, Jersey Joe aboard Papa Cap. What do we call Joe now? Right? He's in Cali. He's a Cali guy now.
Bicoastal Joe. Just
sure.
Kind of catchy, right?
Yeah, sure. Why not, right? So,
before I forget, because you know how forgetful I am, since you live with me.
Yes.
You know who I was impressed with, and I watched the horse closely because I bet the horse. So you usually watch the horses more closely than you run.
Yes, of course.
At least I do. I think most of you probably do the same thing.
I know it was. Yeah.
The 4 Oviatt class. You remember I bet this horse in this race for Keith DeSormo. He was dead last.
Yeah.
And I don't think the pace was that hot. And I love the way he finished. This is what I was telling you about. Yeah. So I'll be gone for about 5 minutes at least.
Ava's demanding a diaper change. And you know what? It's okay. This is good timing because I'm going to go over the pedigree of Corniche. And that's going to take us a minute because Corniche, let me tell you what. I mean, horses.
Corniche, capiche.
Corniche, capiche. Okay, so I'm going to go over that. He's going to come back once he's done doing daddy business here. So Corniche, as I already went over before, he's a son of Quality Road. And one of the things that is just so impressive about Quality Road is, I mean, this was a horse who had speed that could carry. He set a track record for 9 furlongs in the Florida Derby. And then he beat his own track record as a 4-year-old winning the Don. And not only did he do it in a time that beat his own record for 9 furlongs, but he set another record by margin of victory that day in the Don. He crushed that field by 12 3/4 lengths. So again, that's the sire there, Quality Road. And as a sire, I mean, he's producing quality, which, I mean, it makes sense. He's already sired a couple of Breeders' Cup champions. Hootenanny, who won the 2014 Juvenile Turf. Caledonia Road, who won the 2017 Juvenile Fillies. Now I'm gonna mute Matt's monitor there for you. Hootenanny, Caledonia Road, Quality Road also has sired a horse who's getting a lot of hype. Those yearlings have been selling. I'm talking about City of Light, who won the 2018 Dirt Mile. So again, that's a sire, Quality Road. Now, as far as the female family goes and what it has produced, well, Corniche himself is a half brother to a stakes place runner named Coffee Crush. And then he's out of Wasted Tears, and she was good. I mean, she's a multiple grade 2 winner. Those scores came in the John C. Mabie as well as the Jenny Wiley Stakes. And she also set a new course record of 132 and 81 100ths, 132 and 4 for a mile in the grade 3 Ouija board distaff handicap at Lone Star Stakes back in the day. Now, she is the daughter of another horse who could really, I mean, put in some fast times. And I'm talking about Nadron, okay? And Nadron, he actually has the distinction of he came within 0.04 of equaling the track record for a mile, which was set by Dr. Fager. And that being, Dr. Fager did it. There's Matt right back. I'm just telling everybody about Nadron right now and how he nearly equaled the track record set for a mile. The world record, rather, actually, I should say, not just track. The world record for a mile. It wasn't the track. It was the world record for a mile set by Dr. Fager back in the day. He went 132 and 1 flat. Nadron winning the Westchester Stakes winter stakes and 24 100ths. The Westchester Handicap back in 2003. But here's the other distinction that you have. But here's the other thing with Dr. Fager, that you still have to give the nod to Dr. Fager, even though it was that close.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard me, and I don't even know if I said it because I did get distracted with the whole going and changing and then muting your mic and then. But no, it's okay. 134. He was carrying 134 pounds when he set that record. Can you believe it?
I mean, he's one of the all-time greats.
It's unbelievable.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
I think he's Rich Perloff's all-time favorite horse, I believe.
Really?
I think Dr. Fager's all-time favorite.
But yeah, again, in 2003 in the Westchester Handicap, Nadron came pretty close, 132 and 24 100ths. Now, going back even further into Corniche's pedigree, the maternal grandmother in there is stakes winner Wishes and Roses. And she's by another record center that you know because you grew up going to the track when this horse was running. Grayton.
There you go. Grayton. Yeah, great racehorse. Closer.
Yeah. I mean, he put in some records at Hollywood Park. He did a mile in 132 and 3, and he also won the Gold Cup in 158 and 2. So throughout this pedigree, basically what you're seeing is the fact that Corniche has horses who can carry speed. And it's pretty exciting to think what he may be able to do going forward, especially when you also consider this. And I posted this after he won the American Pharoah, because I always get such a thrill when I notice it. But he is a direct tail female descendant of one of the, if not the best, blue hen mare we have, and that is La Troyenne. I mean, this family is just like beyond prolific. The names are long and it's star-studded. I mean, we're talking about horses like Buck Passer, every horse I'm going to name off right now comes from this family. Buck Passer, Affectionately, Princess Rooney. You've got Easy Goer, Sea Hero, Stephanie's Kitten. You've got the likes of LA France, who won the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, which is fitting because that was just run. You've got Numbered Account. Numbered Account went on to, as a broodmare, produce Private Account, who then gave us Personal Ensign and gave us Inside Information. Also, it's from the direct female family of La Troyenne herself, you know, like Judy the Beauty. And then to give some more recency to it, our past, well, not past two consecutively, but a couple of our recent, rather, Breeders' Cup Juvenile winners are from that family. One of them trained by Bob Baffert and Game Winner. And also last year's winner trained by Brad Cox, Essential Quality, all part of this family.
That's amazing. I mean, you mentioned
right?
You mentioned Hall of Famers. You mentioned, I mean, a couple of our, you know, Easy Goer. I mean, we're talking about all-time greats. And then you're throwing in names like Judy the Beauty, Filly and Mare Sprint.
Rhythm, who's a juvenile winner.
Folklore, yeah, lightning fast.
Folklore, who's a juvenile fillies winner.
Yes.
I mean, it's, again, it is just absolutely prolific. You know, just the number of horses that come from this family, and you know, I just think that, I mean, Smarty Jones, for the Smarty Jones fans out there, right? You know, it's just, again, it's so exciting when you see a horse like this who's had such an impact generation after generation through racing's history. I mean, these are some of the biggest names we've enjoyed, right? And I don't know. I love stuff like this. Mineshaft's from this family too. So really great. Yeah, really great. And like I said, you've already got multiple instances in which horses from this family have won our juvenile divisions, and just as recently as Game Winner and last year's winner, Essential Quality. So pretty exciting indeed. Any other thoughts on Corniche before we move forward?
No, I think you covered it all. I mean, we'll see if he can. I mean, you know, as you'd expect, there's going to be a lot of speed in the race. We'll get to the, you know, East Coast.
I mean, is he going out there because he is a speed horse, or is he going out there because he's just faster? Or, I mean, you know, a lot of times I think we think a horse might be a need the lead type just because it's the only way we've ever seen them run. This is just the second start of his career, so
sure. No, he very well could. You know, I mean, you're a heavy favorite and you have speed and you stretch out, you're on the rail. I mean, Mike kind of has to go with the best horse from the rail. You get cute, and then all of a sudden next thing you know, you're in last or something, shuffling back, and you have to be a monster to win at that point. And first and foremost, you want to win a Grade 1 $300,000 event, have momentum going into the Breeders' Cup. And the best way to win that race on Friday, with that post was to utilize your speed.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that he can't rate. I'm guessing that Baffert wishes he would have drawn outside in that race, and then you can try to rate. You can experiment a little bit, you know, and see if it works or not. But I don't think they didn't have that luxury with that post.
Well, I will say, you know, it's always exciting to see, you know, that's part of the fun of it, right? I mean, here you made a whole whopping 80 cents on your $2 wager. So it's exciting to see how the field will shape up. And then you do have to like make these, assumptions about is a horse is going to be a shorter price anyway. I mean, Breeders' Cup is great because you get so many horses who at prices maybe you normally wouldn't get, better than what you're used to. But in this case, there's also lightly raced, so you have to make a lot of assumptions. Again, is this a horse that who could rate? Is this is he one dimensional potentially or whatever? You have to make these assumptions and try to fit it into what you think is going to give you the best value and bang for your buck come time to bet, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially in a 2-year-old division with lightly raced horses, they're whereas in the other divisions, yes, the competition they're facing in Breeders' Cup might be the best competition they've ever faced, but maybe it's not by a mile.
Right.
Whereas in this instance, it really is.
Right. You're gonna get more of what you're used to seeing with the Future Stars Ride program generally. But
I think that's why. I guess why many times in the juvenile races, I mean, off the top of my head, it seems like a lot of these races, the results are feast or famine.
Right.
It's like the heavy favorite, does not disappoint, is exactly what they, or if he doesn't, because there's still such an unknown, then the race becomes a crapshoot. And then you have Caressing, whatever she was at 1,000,000 to 1, or Take Charge Brandy over that speed track at Santa Anita for Lucas at 64 to 1, whatever she was. I mean, we've had some of our biggest upsets have been the juvenile fillies, I think in particular, even more so. But, again, I don't know what, if a horse like Oviatt Class, who only has a maiden win, what this horse does. But he's by Bernardini of a Tisnow mare. He rallied from last to finish third. Keith DeSarmo has won the juvenile before. He did with Texas Red at $50 or whatever that price, $40 a few years back. So that's kind of an interesting horse to monitor, I think, moving forward.
Now you got me wanting to look up that horse's pedigree more in depth, but I don't have time to do it right now while I'm looking. But dear goodness, okay, but you're by Bernardini, and he only went for $60,000, and you're out of Tisnow mare.
I mean, it's been well documented, so I'm only the 500th person to say this. I mean, I probably said it before too. I mean, Keith DeSarmo especially went through a period at the sales, especially
diamonds in the rough.
Well, Texas Red was one of them, and that horse was really cheap. But he had like 5 in like a 5-year period that were all bargains. Pretty, in terms of what they ended up doing. I mean, to me, $60,000 would be a lot of money to spend on anything. But we're talking about Keeneland's September purchase. It's nothing.
He is. This is pretty funny. I'm glad you actually mentioned it because he's another 1Xer. He's another La Troyenne horse because his dam occasionally, she's a full sister to Tizza Hit. Tizza Hit was a stakes winner, won the Demoiselle, the Grade 2 Demoiselle. Then she, as a broodmare, produced Come Dancing, by the way.
Carlos Martin.
Yep. And so this is the female family that does include Folklore, our champion 2-year-old filly and Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner. And because it includes Folklore, that means, I mean, again, this is 1X, but it's like it's the same family, but it's even closer than that because it's right there on the page for you on the catalog page. And so because of Folklore, obviously, Folklore is the Grandam, or I'm sorry, not the Grandam. She's a half sister, I believe. I'd have to go back to look for sure because it's been so long since I've had to talk about his pedigree specifically, but I'm pretty sure she's the half sister to the dam of Essential Quality.
Yeah.
So there. I can check for 100% certainty right now, but that.
I knew you were going to.
But then you go like this. You go like, oh my gosh, with that pedigree, how the heck did he have 3 legs? Obviously not. We saw 4 right there.
And he finished well.
Yeah.
He finished well.
So
his maiden move was huge. I mean, it was a hot pace, but I would argue that he made a big middle into a hot, and sustained it to win by a mile. I think he's a serious racehorse.
A very serious. Yes, I was right. The Essential Quality's mom is a half sister to Folklore. So yeah, I mean it's the same family here. So, and Folklore herself was by Tisnow. Yeah, That's very interesting. So you think this is a horse that can move forward? You should keep your eye out on.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. He's definitely. I mean, I bet him in the American Pharoah. He's definitely a playback horse for me for sure.
Okay, I love it. Well, you heard it from Matt Carruthers here first. If he does win, I will have to put this out.
Well, I don't even know. I don't know. He's a maiden winner. I don't even know if he's.
If he makes it, I
don't even know if he's going.
If he makes the dance, or what? Who knows? He goes on the Derby trail maybe, and who knows? But if this horse wins anything big in the future, I'll have to clip this out and give you.
Oh yeah, I'll make you do that for sure.
Give you some props. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Rashawn, by the way, says Joelle riding this Friday, a serious 2-year-old filly at Keeneland, and her name is Materia. I have to look at it. Keeneland PPs opening weekend are out.
They must have just came out, because remember this morning I was looking for them and they weren't out yet. So obviously they drew. So, and I haven't had time to.
We have a win in your
there yet.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look yet either. We have a win in your in for the juvenile fillies with the Darley Alcibiades, and then we also have on then Saturday the Claiborne Breeders Fraternity, which Essential Quality won that race. That was sort of like his big coming up party. Like, what's up, everybody?
Right, and the last I checked, Friday was going to be rainy. Saturday was going to be great.
Okay.
So I think better weather. Let me see if that's changed.
Also saying
it's to rain a lot tomorrow, poor Thursday, and then 40% chance Friday. So I don't know what the track's gonna be like Friday. Saturday, we should have a fast track for sure.
Nice. And yes, the answer to that is yes. And by the way, those are actually dialed in shoes on my wall.
Well, yes.
Right there. Mm-hmm. My friend Tracy Willis, who sadly passed away. How long has it been now? 2 years?
Yeah.
2.5 years or so. And she was amazing, and she worked for Darby Dan Farm, and she was so kind. She gave those to us, and we have them on our wall. And I know some people go, well, they're upside down, but I'm not, one, superstitious, and two, there are two of them, so then it would cancel it out, right? And I think it looks better like they're walking up the wall. And Ava saying hi. Okay, so now,
yes,
that was the winning your in action on the West Coast, and that was just Friday. That was just Friday. So now moving on to Saturday, and what is she doing? Singing to you?
We're getting dressed here.
Oh, good. Oh, okay, Ava. So then on Saturday at Belmont, which was my mother's birthday, by the way, October 2nd. So we already wished her happy birthday, but I'll say happy birthday every chance I get. So Mom, I hope you had a happy birthday. Oh, what's wrong with Ava? She okay?
She's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So in any case, we had the Grade 1 Champagne Stakes, and if you want to talk about a story race, this race has been run like forever, it feels like, and it's one of our oldest, greatest Grade 1s for 2-year-olds. It's so important. It's historically important, and it's important for from the Breeders' Cup perspective, being that it's a win and you're in for the
TVG Breeders' Cup Juvenile,
presented by the Thoroughbred Aftercare.
Thoroughbred Aftercare, right?
So we had Jack Christopher in here. Stay undefeated. This is a horse who debuted for Chad Brown on the dirt. Chad, I think that's over with now, don't you? The pigeonholing of him as just a grass trainer.
Well, I meant to look it up, but of course I forgot. This is like the last 6 years is like his 4th Champagne or something like that. So he's done pretty well in this race.
And this horse, again, debuted at Saratoga, sprinting 6 furlongs. The buyer for that debut came back in 92. He took him, and he was dueling on the front end, got the lead midway through, and then went on to score by 8 3/4 lengths. So
yeah, I think didn't the last when the only time the Breeders' Cup's been at Del Mar, Good Magic won the Juvenile.
Yes,
and I think I loved him, and it was a good Breeders' Cup for me. I've had some awful Breeders' Cups, folks. It was a really good one in 17.
Yeah.
But he was the best horse in defeat. I can't remember exactly why I liked him. I think he was part of a ridiculous pace or something and ran 2nd or 3rd. He was much better than the winner that took advantage of the pace. So as a maiden, he won the Juvenile.
Yeah.
in 17. I think paid about $18, maybe 17, something like that. But that's, Chad Brown.
Yeah, yep. Great point. Absolutely. Now, Jack Christopher, because of that impressive debut, he was your 9-5 morning line favorite. And he did not disappoint performance-wise. Obviously, you're not going to make a lot of money off a horse. He came back $5.40 for a $2 wager. So let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at the replay of the Grade 1 Champagne.
But there was some other horses that people,
yes. No.
That's Foley's horse.
Wit was in here. Gunite.
Gunite.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, that's why you did get obviously a better return than Corniche gave you,
right?
With Jack Christopher, because you did have the likes of Wit in here. I think people were looking for that because Wit had issues when they last met in the Hopeful Stakes. And that's where Gunite won by 5 3/4
wire to wire.
Yeah, and so people are like, okay, well, Witt had that problem. Now we get the rematch, but neither of them won here. So we're going to take a look at the replay. You got Jose Ortiz aboard again. This is Chad Brown is your trainer. You've got your ownership of Jim Beck, and I hope I said that right. I'm not sure. It's one thing to read names silently in your head, is another thing to say it out loud. So if I said that incorrectly, I'm sorry. It's either Jim Bake or Jim Backey.
Backey, I think.
Then you got Gerald Isbister, Coolmore Stud, who stands Munnings, who is the sire of Jack Christopher, and Peter Brandt. And horse was bred by Castles and Lions and Killboy State. So let's go ahead again and take a look at the Champagne Stakes Grade 1 winning you're in for the TVG Juvenile, presented by the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance.
They're in the gate. And they're off in the 150th running of the Champagne Stakes. Number 1 was off a step slow. It is Gunite who's going out for the early lead, and Kavod is right there in second. Jack Christopher is running in third. And it is My Prankster who's in between horses.
Yeah, he pulled him back early. I mean, he had that early decision to make to kind of go up the inside or pull back a little bit and then come around the 52-1 shot. Kavod, and the last thing you want to do, though, is you don't want to mess with a 52-1 shot that he knows going to back up to you at some point. So let's get around that horse early. There's Gunite doing what he did, a few weeks ago.
And he's probably thinking right here that he can, but then that half sped up, right? I mean, at first you're going 23-2, and then you go 46-2 for the half. So at that point, when you've got a horse like this coming up to you now, and Jack Christopher.
Yeah, it's another situation. Look at the jockey's body language right now.
Yeah.
And then no one else is here. I mean, here comes Witt, the Rapoli Silks. He broke better. He's trying. You can tell he's a real trier. He's trying to get involved here late, but now just look at this horse accelerate once he's asked.
Yeah.
Right on cue. I know we'll get, you'll cover it in more detail here in a second, but the performance is really good. It was obviously had more depth to the field, I think, than the field at Santa Anita.
Yeah.
The figure came back 93, I think, for Jack 93. Christopher.
Correct. And
but
so,
you're
sorry, just real quick. He looks so much like his sire, Munnings. It's pretty impressive, actually.
He was turning into a unreal. So, he was a really good racehorse, but I think he's a better sire than. He's the son of Speightstown. It's
2004's Breeders' Cup Sprint and Eclipse Champions Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, he won as the favorite, Speightstown.
No, yeah, Munnings. He's a sire of Kamari and
You're mentioning all these real fast horses. So then you think, you have a half hour's mare. I always think just speed there.
The pedigree, I will say this, and this is one of the things. And if he turns out to be a great miler, that's great too. It is a very speedy pedigree, I will say.
On top of the speedy pedigree to begin with, as 95% of our audience knows. 5% it doesn't. I'm speaking to you right now. That's a one-turn race at Belmont.
Yes. Now you're going to be
It's just an enormous difference. I mean, you might think, well, if the horse had the better distance pedigree, it probably wouldn't even. We'd mention it, but it wouldn't even be a big focal point. But I think we were already questioning the horse against better competition at the distance. The fact that was one turn and this is two, that means that it's an enormous hurdle.
Yeah,
for this horse. Not that he can't do it. I'm not saying he can't. He might be my pick in the end. I don't know what I'm doing in a month, but it's definitely something to look at when you're looking at this horse in terms of 2 turns at Del Mar.
Well, like you said, his dam is a daughter of Half Hours. That's Russian No Blush. And I will say Half Hours is by a juvenile champ in Unbridled Song who won it back in 1995. Now,
he was a fast horse too.
Yeah. Now, Russian No Blush, and again, the dam, she's a 3/4 sister to multiple grade 2 place Habibu. And she's also, the dam, a half sister. And this is where, again, going back to saying, wow, there's a lot of speed in the pedigree. The dam is also a half sister to Street Boss. I mean, Street Boss, oh my gosh. I mean, this is back when, the track was synthetic, but boy, could he he was one of those fast closers.
Sprint runner.
Oh yeah. I mean, the triple bend he won, the grade 1 triple bend, the Bing Crosby. I mean, he was also 3rd in the 2008 Breeders' Cup Sprint. So again, just a really fast, really fast pedigree. So like you said, now you have to go 1.16 around 2 turns, and it could definitely make you vulnerable. If he's a short price,
Yeah, and he's pretty much a front-running type at this point. We know what, Corniche likes to do, at least thus far. And I'm sure there's other horses that are quick. So it's going to be more difficult. I mean, he had set off. He rated. Gunite got the lead in the race. That was nice to see. He did kind of blow right by a horse who had won the Hopeful,
right?
In his prior start. So he's a really good racehorse. I'm not saying he can't get the 2 turns.
No, you just don't know yet. I mean, nobody knows yet, right? You got to wait and see, and that's part of it.
Well, some of these horses we know they can get the 2 turns. I mean, we know Corniche can get the 2 turns now. He answered that question. We don't know that about this horse. The win was pretty impressive. I love the way the horse finished.
Yeah, no, he did it well within himself.
Maybe maybe 1.16 he can get. Then after that, after he wins the TVG, Breeders' Cup Juvenile presented by Thoroughbred Aftercare, then we'll start saying there's no way he gets 1.25 miles in the Derby, and then that'll be the next conversation.
Don't we always have that discussion? It's really, I don't know. It's one of those things that it's fun to try to project, and sometimes concretely, no way is this horse going to be able to do that.
Right.
And they always surprise you.
Somebody wants to get up. Somebody wants to get upstairs. For some reason, it's closed.
Oh, okay. You can help her real quickly, and then I'm going to make a mention of this. So one of the things that I want to discuss was the Champagne and the Frisette were run on 2 separate days. You had the Champagne on Saturday. You had the Frisette on Sunday. Now, going back to Jack Christopher's final time, he ran the mile in 1:37 and 31/100, so 1:37 and 1. That buyer again came back in 93. And why I find this pretty interesting is, again, it was on a separate day. It was. But that being said, Echo Zulu, who just even throughout, like if you look at all the fractions, like for the Champagne, they went 23-2, 46-2, 111, 137-1 for the final. Again, 93 buyer. Day later, Echo Zulu, who actually wired the field, and she did it going 22-1, 45-4, 110-2, 135, and if you want to get real technical, and 12/100ths. She won by 7 1/4 lengths. Her buyer came back at 90. Any insight into that?
Yeah, it's fairly odd. I didn't do in-depth chart work, but I kind of did a little bit, and it does seem like the track was much faster on Sunday than Saturday in New York, because I just noticed that, for instance, Sunday a pretty good racehorse named Zoomer won 1.16 and 41-4. Right, that's fast. 1.16, 41-4. The day of the Champagne, the day before Saturday, the Jack Christopher day, you're to blame. A horse who's made $860,000 in a high-level allowance optional claiming event went 44-1 for a mile and a 16th.
Oh.
So just based on that, that's kind of the only thing that I noticed. I didn't look, compare every dirt race, but right there you have one good, dirt horse going 41-4, and the next day a very good dirt horse go 44-1. So that's 12 lengths difference between those two horses in a day. So usually you don't see a track change that dramatically in 24 hours, but it looks like potentially that was the case at Belmont over the weekend.
Interesting. Well, this performance, I mean, definitely, I would have to say, not that you don't try to beat her if she's a price that you can't take come Breeders' Cup, but she definitely looks to be the filly to beat right now as we look ahead toward the juvenile fillies. Here is Echo Zulu. We'll talk about connections, pedigree, and all that after we watch the replay. Here's Echo Zulu in the Grade 1 Brizette. A win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup juvenile fillies on Future Stars Friday.
Yeah, she's just so fast.
Ready for the start. And they're off. And it was a good beginning for Echo Zulu, who is going right out for the early lead. Echo Zulu's in front.
I love horses that are just naturally so fast. I mean, because it wasn't like she was shoved on to get the lead or anything. I mean, she's, I think some of the other riders were trying. Whoever's aboard Gerrymander, I'm not sure who that is.
That is Rosario on Gerrymander.
Yeah, the last thing he wants to do, it's like you gotta. What's the cliche? I love cliches. Pick your poison. It's you want to battle with the 1-5 favorite with all the ability in the world, and get cooked, or do you want to try to rate just off of her? And that's what he decided to do. You can see how bunched up the whole field is. I mean, right there, you have 6 horses within 3.5 lengths. So they're not going. I mean, 45-4. I think that speaks to the track on this day when you're going sub 46, but yet the horse in 6 is only 3 lengths off of that. Right?
Yeah,
maybe 46-3. Technically, could have been 46-2. And this is where the separation comes into play with Echo Zulu.
This is a horse. I know I've used this to describe horses in the past, but it's true. Like she's a horse that looks like she relishes her job.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I actually think that a lot of horses that win by big margins, it's because they really enjoy what they're doing. They really love to
look at ears up, right? Ears up, hey.
Yeah, when you're great, or I'm not saying she's great yet, but when you're immensely talented, really good, bordering on great, and you have that competitiveness throughout a race, that's where you can have some of those big margins because of your competitive nature, there's no let up. And if there's no let up, then it'll be a blowout.
Now, that was the 3rd start of her career, her 3rd win. She's perfect. She debuted originally at Saratoga, sprinting 5.5 furlongs, won that race by 5.5 lengths, then wins the Grade 1 spin away over Good Goings. And that's 7 furlong race there at Saratoga, won that by 4. Debut buyer was 92. Spin away was a 90 again. This one came back a 90 as well. Trained by Steve Asmussen, ridden by Ricardo Santana Jr. Ownership group here is L&N Racing and Winchell Thoroughbreds, who Winchell Thoroughbreds we know have a hand in Steve Asmussen and early on Ricardo rode him, but later it was Florent Giroux, the sire here, gun runner. So I mean, this is, by the way, I'll give a shout out to the breeders as well. It's just a long group. Betts, J. Betts, Burns, CHNNHK, Majors, Coco Equine, and Ramsby. So all the connections there, big congratulations. This is a really exciting filly. Again, she's a daughter of Gunrunner. This is just his first crop. And we already have talked about Gunrunner who won, or Gunite who won the Hopeful, even though, I mean, obviously, The Champagne didn't go his way, but still, he's a Grade 1 winner, the hopeful. We talked about Papa Cap there, who ended up running second in the American Pharoah and who had already won the Grade 2 Best Pal. And here's the thing that these horses all seem to have in common. And actually, before I even say what they have in common, let's just first talk about the greatness of Gunrunner himself. I mean, this was a really exciting racehorse to begin with, right? He put together just a string of incredible Grade 1 races, including the Breeders' Cup Classic. That was definitely a part of it, as well as, I mean, the Pegasus World Cup. I mean, his earnings are just shy of like $16 million, I believe. But, you know, if I go back to the, trying to pull up something here, sorry. I'm just looking at this here. He won 12 of 19 starts, okay?
I bet him in the Derby. He ran well in the Derby. He was my Derby horse.
He did run well in the Derby. And, you know, before he ever won the Breeders' Cup Classic, he had put in a really good a second place in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. So, I mean, this was a horse who was pretty versatile regarding distance. And he was second in the Dubai World Cup to Arrogate. But Arrogate put like in a performance for the ages in that race, as you'll recall. Didn't he basically follow the gate?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right? And
lost all chance.
Yeah.
But didn't.
Yeah, and like you said, he put in a really good third place in the Kentucky Derby, Gunrunner, third in the Travers. And as for that Grade 1 winning streak that I was talking about, not only, I mean, it was, here's how it went. Stephen Foster, the Whitney, the Woodward, the Breeders' Cup Classic, then the Pegasus World Cup. As I already said, retired with earnings just shy of $16 million. And, you know, and this is the other thing, as I even say in this write-up that I did, not only, I mean, as impressive as that is, he's not even the only Breeders' Cup Classic horse of the year in the family, because his dam is a half sister to St. Liam, who won the Classic back in 2005 and was horse of the year. So it's just so incredible. And Gunrunner Gunrunner is by Candy Ride, yes. And yes, he was second to Arrogate in the Dubai World Cup. So yeah, and so that's already impressive as it is. And the other thing to remember, and this is where I'm kind of going with this, the Gunrunner babies, all of the ones who are graded stakes winners so far, they're all showing a recurrence of Stormcat in the pedigree, because Gunrunner, while he's by Candy Ride, his mom is a daughter of Giant's Causeway, and Giant's Causeway is a son of Stormcat. Okay, so follow along with me here. All right, so with her, Echo Zulu, she is out of the mare Let Go My Echo. Okay, and Let Go My Echo is daughter of Menifee, and Menifee is
He was a tremendous horse.
Oh yeah, I mean
Elliott trained him. He won the
99 Bluegrass.
Won the Tampa Bay Derby, I believe, too, and he won the Bluegrass. And then he was second in the Derby and the Preakness, and he won the Haskell. And yeah, well, you mentioned in the Bluegrass. I mean, he was a really good racehorse.
So you got Menifee. Menifee is a son of Harlan, and Harlan is a son of Stormcat. So then you're getting that recurrence of Stormcat again. And so you have it in that regard. And then you also will then have it going back to Gun Knight, who again won the Hopeful Stakes, also an Asmussen trainee. He's out of a mare by Giant's Causeway's son, Cowboy Cal. And then Papa Cap, he's out of a daughter of Scat Daddy, and Scat Daddy's sire is Johannesburg.
Yeah.
And Johannesburg is by Hennessy, and Hennessy is by Stormcat. So it's just, you're getting these recurring instances of Stormcat. And I think it's something that going forward, since this is his first crop, and now you're seeing every graded stakes winner having this. I mean, Wicked Halo does as well, only it's coming through her second dam. her second dam is where the line comes back into play because Wicked Halo, who's also trained by Steve Asmussen, she won the Adirondack. She's out of an Adirondack winner in Just Wicked. And Just Wicked is out of a Wicked Deed. And Wicked Deed is by Harlan's Holiday, who's by Harlan, who we already mentioned, who's by Stormcat. So again, when you have this type of repetition, I don't think it's just coincidence. So from a handicapping perspective, as somebody who does handicap pedigrees, I'm going to like all the gun runners pretty much, but I think I'm going to like them even especially more if I see that there's an extra replicated Stormcat that the mare is bringing into the equation. And so for those who do like to handicap pedigree as I do, that's a note I would tell you to keep in your file.
No, that makes sense.
I
mean, you bring up all these names of horses that I know, but I haven't thought of in so long. I mean, Harlan's Holiday, but Kenny McPeak, I think he might have been the Derby favorite too. He was like one of those, 9-2 favorites in the Derby, I think. Maybe
a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
But I will say
years.
I should give some love though to Echo Zulu's family in particular also. Not just, we've been lavishing all this love on Gunnar, who by the way stands at 3 Chimneys. But I will say from going back to that female family, her mom Let Go My Echo, she won 3 of 4 of her career starts, and that includes. Hi, Ava.
That's tremendous. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm a rich man now.
Oh, good.
What? It's yeah, this one.
The golden honeycomb. What is this?
Yeah, no, coin.
Oh, coin, she said. It's a coin.
Oh, what this?
It's a gold coin. You're rich.
Wow. Yeah. Gold's not what it used to be, but it's got to be at least, this has got to be an ounce of gold. I don't know what gold is now. I don't think it's $400 an ounce anymore, but
yeah, I don't think so either, but that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet of her. Okay, so as I was talking about Let Go My Echo, that's Echo Zulu's mom. She won 3 of her 4 career starts. Those wins include the Grade 2 forward gal, so she was a Grade 2 winner. But she was already looking like a pretty solid producer because in addition to Echo Zulu, she'd already produced graded stakes winners like J Boy's Echo. He put up a 102 buyer, winning the 2017 Gotham, and for the same connections. And then, or not for the same connection. I'm sorry, J Boy's Echo is not the same connections. The same connections had another half sibling here in Echo Town, is what I'm meant to say.
Okay.
Echo Town, and those wins include the Grade 1 H. Allen Jerkins. So I think you've got a solid pedigree from the mom. Your dad, it looks like he's going to be a star stud already with just one crop on the ground, and you are showing a cross that seems to be very potent with him. I think the sky is the limit for this filly.
So it sounds like getting the distance will be on the top. It sounds like the bottom's talented but more speedy in one turn on the bottom, and then you get the endurance on the top.
Yeah, I mean,
here, I got to step away for a second. I'm sorry, everybody.
It's okay. It's okay. She just wants some attention here, and Matt's gonna take care of that real quick. But yeah, just talking about Echo Zulu and just what a tremendous talent she looks to be. A horse with a bright future ahead of her, no doubt, as we look forward to Future Stars Friday. She just got her ticket punched to the Juvenile fillies, winning the Grade 1 Frizette Stakes. You did not make any money betting her, though. You made 70 cents on your $2 wager, but that's okay because she rewarded you with such an exciting performance. And let's see. There's one thing I do want to check because I'm pretty sure. So as I was trying to clarify about her siblings, Echo Town was for the same connections as Steve and everybody, and like LNN Racing. J Boy's Echo, wasn't that a Dale Romans horse or no?
I think so.
I feel like I want to look it up now just because.
What race you say he won? I think he won at a price
the
too.
Gotham.
He might have been like 11-1, or he paid well. I think
Romans. It was Romans.
I thought it.
Gomez in my Alba family racing. That's my friend Jason Luch. Oh, and
Right.
Bobby Flay part owner as well. Okay. Bred by the same connections. So let me see here. Now I'm going to look up what he paid out. Let's see.
I
here.
thought he paid one of his wins. I thought he paid something. I thought it was that. I mean, I'm not overly confident.
He was 6-1 in the Gotham.
He was what?
6-1.
Okay, I mean, he paid what? Yeah, it's not quite as high as I thought. 6-1's good. I mean, he paid $14-15. Okay,
He beat your eventual Preakness winner, Cloud Computing,
right.
in the race. Okay, so any final thoughts on Echo Zulu before we look at a little international action to close things out?
No, I think she's your favorite, right? I mean, she's your favorite in the juvenile fillies. I mean, she kind of looks like at the same time. I mean, she's kind of like the female Jackie's Warrior. It kind of looks like.
But don't you think a lot of Steve's horses look similar?
Don't
you think a lot of Steve's horses do all have that like similar look about them too? I mean, obviously a lot of them are owned by the same connection. So you have the silks, you got the white head stall, you got the braid kicking.
And Steve is so good with all horses, of course, but with 2-year-olds. And doesn't every one of Steve Asmussen's 2-year-olds behave like an older horse? I mean, you never see them miss the break. They don't go have hissy fits in the paddock, or I mean, they're it's unbelievable.
And how exciting is Jackie's Warrior? I'm looking forward to. I mean, I know I talk about the Future Stars Friday card, but I am really looking forward to him running on Saturday.
Yeah, no, he's a freaky talent. He's special at Saratoga, and we'll see if he can be special elsewhere.
Oh, let's see here. Nick Feldman jumping in. If I could bet next year's Acorn and Test winner right now, I would pick Echo Zulu, but I will play against in the Juvenile and the Oaks as of right now if I was betting.
If I was betting, come on.
I'm sure there's somebody out there who will take your future action.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I'm not one of them, but there's somebody out there.
Oh, now I'm going to warn you all here. Matt and I are certainly no experts on international racing. And I did have a really great show last week with Michael Dolphin, who is. And he actually got to go out for Arc Day there at Longchamps in Paris. And I know we had that big upset in the Arc itself.
The German bred, right? Yeah.
I know. And I think that's his trainer's first Group 1. I read
know.
somewhere. And if I'm incorrect on that, I apologize. But I thought I read something like that and how much this means to him.
Sure.
Is it Torquedo Tasso? Is that the horse?
Good retrieve. I think that's it. I blanked. Yeah.
I mean, I know for a little bit there, it looked like maybe Adayar was your Epsom Derby winner. It looked like maybe he was going to go on with it, and then he just got tired. And here comes this German bred, and boy,
Tarnawa came on. She's tough.
Yeah,
she was second, I think, right?
I think she did get.
I think she was second,
but I don't have it right in front of me.
Your Breeders' Cup Turf winner at Keeneland from last year.
Yes. Now we did have 2 win in your in events on the ARC undercard. Both of them winning your ins for the Future Stars Friday, Juvenile Turf and Juvenile Fillies Turf, respectively. And I'm talking about, and I'm going to look, I don't speak any other languages. I know bits and pieces of, Middle Eastern jargon, Surah, Arabic, a little bit. Okay.
Oh, you're going to play the French calls.
I just want to warn people that I might butcher, the French pronunciation of these races, even though I know a little French, a little bit, because I did take a little French in school, but my accent might be off.
It's a little more French than I took.
So you got the cutter. We had escargot during one of our classes to, expand our horizons.
Really? I can't see you reading that. I mean, it's not escargot.
No, it's not escargot. It's not escargot.
Okay.
No.
Good to know.
So the cutter pre Jean-Luc Lagardère, which is a 7 furlong turf. But by the way, the ground was heavy. That ground was heavy.
It poured the night before. I guess.
Yeah, a Longchamp. Now, I'm going to show you this replay. I want to preface this, however, by saying I don't think your winner, Angel Blue, is coming over for Breeders' Cup. I think part of the thought process behind this horse was that he would like the soft ground, and he obviously did because he goes on to be your winner. The trainer actually made a joke saying that he doesn't think the ground's going to be soft at Del Mar, except for maybe at the beach. So again, I don't think he's coming over. Doesn't mean it's impossible, I suppose. But we'll go ahead and show you this race. It's again, Angel Blue is your winner. He is now 4 for 7 record wise. And I'll talk about his pedigree a little bit on the other side of this replay. Frankie Dettori is up.
Because we have no audio.
Oh, I can turn up power higher.
The Wizard of
There we go.
Defeated now by Rocky Gianni. He was one of those who wasn't best away, but he's made his way through the field to hold second position at the moment. The extreme right, the turquoise jacket, is Arnis Master is racing in behind Akakaba. Blue jacket and white sleeves for her. Angel Blur, Frankie Dettori tucked away against the running red. He's going to be about 6th at the moment. Mikael Barcelona, Ancient Rome is the back marker as they run down the straight. So they've got 3.5 furlongs to go.
They did a perfect trip, it looks like.
Past the halfway stage. So William Buick on the left on Noble Truth has gone into a little lead here of a couple of lengths. Ebro River in second position. Rocky Gianni being ridden along in third. The Wizard of Eye is next against the running bell. Angel Blur making good progress. They head down now. They've still got well over a furlong to go, and it's going to be tough and slow going. Noble Truth in the lead, being aimed at though by Angel Blur, who's moved through into second place. Behind those, Akakaba down the outside is making progress, and also Ancient Rome is staying on well, but it's Frankie on Angel Blur's hands and heels only, has won it by about a length, maybe slightly under, to Noble Truth in second place. It's going to be a close run thing for third place between Ancient Rome and Akakaba, but it is a Frankie Dettori victory on number 3, Angel Blur. Hugged to those inside running well, took aim at the long-time leader Noble Truth down the straight and won by 3 parts, maybe 1 length.
Angel Bleu. I should have been saying it that way. I apologize. Not the Yank way of Angel Blue. Angel Bleu. And you gotta love Frankie's little wave at the camera there, right? So this boy, it was bred by Pan Suttung Racing. Last time we saw him was in the Group 2 Vintage Stakes at Glorious Goodwood. Ahead of this go again, trainer Ralph. Oh, you know what? I don't even think I said who his trainer was before. Ralph Beckett trains. And again, I don't think he's coming over because I think this is a horse who likes softer ground, and that's what they were looking for here. In fact, I don't know if this is happening or not, but at least like a day or two ago, they were saying that they might even entertain the idea, if the ground was favorable, to wheel him right back into the Dewhurst Stakes this weekend.
Wow.
He's wheeled back quickly before. But yeah, again, I do not know if that is what they're intending to do. Obviously, if they do that, then you know he's for sure not coming here. But it's doubtful anyway. But still, just in terms of a really nice horse that maybe you should keep your eye on, Son of Dark Angel. Dark Angel won the Group 1 Middle Park Stakes. And then the dam here, you're going to love this because I do. And by the way, the owner is Mark Chan. You know, Angel Blue's mom, daughter Galileo, but more to the point, she's a full sister to a horse who's been and will always be a tremendous fan favorite and a Breeders' Cup champion as well, won the 2016 Turf, and I am talking about Highland Reel.
Oh, wow.
How cool is that?
Yeah, but I mean, I love unbelievably talented, fast horses that can run all day.
Yeah.
And he was the epitome of that. I mean, he was really fast and could beat the best horses in the world at 10 furlongs, 12 furlongs. It didn't matter. He didn't back up. Those horses are special, I think. Those horses that can do that. So that is cool. To me, I just look like the top 2 are much the best. I know it's a European race sprint, and so they're all kind of bunched up late. But like the Buick horse and the winner were clearly the two best horses in that race, and it's not easy to get by William Buick at that point of a race, and to do it that easily, as you heard the announcer say, hands and heels with Frankie. And I'm guessing they were your two favorites. Just knowing the connections a little bit, not even having handicapped the race. I don't think that was a big surprise by the result in that race.
Tell our William Buick story.
Real quickly, I'll tell. I have a Tory story that's kind of funny too. Because
okay, tell the.
I'll do both. I'll do both in under a minute.
Is it the Tory story? I think it is, or no?
Well, the only time I was ever at a racetrack in Europe, I was the German Derby. The year I was losing all day, and they had like an open bar type situation. I had a few cocktails, and it was pouring rain in Hamburg, Germany, and I was like the loud American tourist fan. So I went out, and it's kind of like this big fair venue. And so I saw the Tory like walking, like, I don't know, like 30 yards in front, like, Frankie, I love Frankie. I was like, he like kind of was turning around. I was like, yeah, and I like buy beers in both hands, one of those deals. And I was losing all day. Shocker, I know. And then I made it all back with Scirocco in the German Derby. And then I played Scirocco again when he came to the States and won the Breeders' Cup Turf.
Wow,
so that was pretty cool. I was there to see Scirocco win, so the German bred, and then and then the Buick story. We were at we were very well behaved, Ron and I. So we were at Le Berge.
Yeah.
The fancy place. We can't afford to stay there, but it's the fancy place at a hotel where the folks have a bit more coin than we do stay.
Yeah,
and we were leaving. We were leaving early, and I think we just kind of went there for a brief period, and I think we had to go or something. Our car was parked in the lot in the hotel, I think, right? So we're in the elevator, and this guy gets into the elevator, and it takes us a few seconds. And I think you're always talking to strangers, you're polite. Yeah. You're polite. In the elevator, like, oh, hi, did you go to the races today or something? You're like, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, are you a jockey? I'm William Buick.
No.
Oh, did I get it wrong?
No, you did get it wrong. Oh my gosh! Not only did you get it wrong, but you got it wrong in a way that makes. No, I knew it was William Buick.
Oh, you knew it was him.
I knew it was him.
Well, I didn't know it was him then.
Like he was leaving. Like the races had just wrapped up. He just won the. He had just won on oh my gosh, help me out here. Waheda. And he's got his little hoodie on, he's got his little suitcase.
Right.
I mean, the after party's going on, and like he's just ready.
Oh, he was going to the airport.
He had to go fly back. I said, William Buick. And he could not have been nicer.
Right. No, you're right. You did. I was one who didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was, and you're like William Buick. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but my Frankie story, we were at Saratoga, and we were supposed to wrangle him for an interview or something. And we were waiting for him outside the jocks room. and I see him finally coming out. And I was like, Frankie. He's like, I'm so sorry. Apparently he got sick. And he was on his way to barf.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right.
He had a stomach bug.
Right. And Cordero is sort of the intermediary, I believe.
Yeah.
He was
why do I always tell stories that have to do with like indigestion problems? But no, I mean, Frankie's a legend, and he's amazing, and just the consistent top tier ability he displays year after year. I think it was just recently the anniversary of him just putting in like an insane like 7 score day back gosh, how many years ago? Right there, I think for that meet, I'd have to look it back up for the actual year.
Well, he's been incredible forever.
No, for sure. Let me see here. I want to look this up. But one of the things that it's so great about him is that he knows he's got a big personality, and he uses that to be an ambassador for the sport in the most incredible way.
No, that's true, and I think in contrast, he was very nice to us in the other. But Buick is another. I mean, he's an unbelievable rider too. Those are two of the best 5 riders in the world we're talking about right now.
Yes.
But Buick's personality is completely different.
September of 1996, he won all 7 races on the card at Ascot.
Yeah, that's
insane. That's insane. The Magnificent Seven.
It's one of those records that won't be broken.
I mean, that's just it.
Perfect at Ascot. No.
I know it's incredible, and I'm just.
What else wins?
Yeah,
right? Just by 7 races on the card.
Yeah, I'm just.
Every race.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Features September 28th of 2021 is the anniversary of it here of the Magnificent. This is when it was published, rather. I'm sorry. I don't know if it was actually 1996, the exact same date, but it was the September of 1996. Achieved a near impossible feat when winning all 7 races on the card at Ascot in September of 1996, including the prestigious Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. To have that type of athleticism to get, not just to get through a whole card of racing period as a jockey, but to win every race, I can't even imagine the wherewithal it takes to do that. We have one more race to show you before I do. We have a couple more comments. Blue Stripe is an interesting horse who's running in the Distaff, half sister to 2019 Distaff winner Blue Brat. Oh, don't know if she's good enough to beat Latruska, but has been solid in Argentina this
year. That's good to know.
It is good to know. And then Nick.
Enjoy me some Red Stripe, some beer, but I don't know about Blue Stripe.
Wouldn't it be fitting that Raging Bull be 12-1 and win the Breeders' Cup Mile this year, and disappointing so many times?
Hey, I'll say this about Raging Bull. I've said this to you before, but he's feast or famine. His A game is through the roof good, so you gamble that his A game is there, you get a prize because I think he either wins or he doesn't have too many seconds or thirds, if I recall. Raging Bull. I mean, he wins with a huge figure or he stinks.
Yeah. Yeah, he's such a good-looking horse. Though.
He's run well at Del Mar too, I believe. So that's another thing to keep in mind.
No. Okay. So let's talk about a horse who won the other When You're In there on the card at Longchamp. And it was here we go. I'm going to just butcher it again. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have a good French accent. I like to pretend that I do. Like when the line I always go to is, je parle français, mais je ne parle pas très bien. I speak French, but I don't speak it very well.
Nailed that, yeah.
Right.
But you're like, the rest of you is you're like Clouseau, the rest of it.
Oh. Yeah. Well, he wasn't really French, right? He was supposed to be from Brussels.
Peter Sellers? No, Clouseau, I said.
Clouseau. Oh, I'm thinking of your other. Oh, yes, Clouseau. Yeah. Yes, I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Hercule
Poirot. You're thinking of
Poirot. Yes. Okay.
In Belgium. Yeah.
Belgian, right? Okay. So in the Cutter Prix Marcel Boussac, which is a mile contest, When You're In for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, we saw Zelly win. And Zelly, her record now is 4 wins from 6 starts. 2 runner-up finishes. She was bred by Sea Barrel. She's owned by El Wasmia Farm, trained by Andre Fabre, and ridden by Oisin Murphy. And this is after Oisin had got all banged up with that accident in the paddock last week, and pulls out a great win here. Again, I'm going to remind you all the ground's heavy here as you watch this race, and we'll watch it, and then we'll come back and talk about the filly a little bit and her performance. And then we'll wrap things up. So if you have any questions, ask it now. Or ask them now. Okay.
On ARC Day, the first Group 1 of the day, the Qatar Prix Marcel Boussac here with commentary.
They come out of the stalls, a fairly decent line on the left there, the blue colors of Fleur de Ris with Barcelona.
You can't hear it again, Ren.
Oh, I'll turn it up, and I'll get rid of the hip or knee pain advertisement too.
Yeah.
Square. Striped lady white jacket, the green hoop on it of Natasha. She's one off the rails and showing in 4th at the moment. Who knows? Red sleeves. She's a little keen early in the race. So also maybe Asa Ali off to the right there. The orange
it's kind of
sleeve.
Stereo sound, Ren.
Oh, okay, I'll turn
you know
up more.
Yeah. It's all right. I mean, it's okay. You can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, sorry.
in white colours. So they moved
Oh, it's fine now.
Of course, they're
Oh,
in the
good.
full straight at the moment. There'll be a good 10 lengths,
Yeah,
maybe more
perfect.
than that first to last. Fleur de Ris in the blue, though, continues to lead. Agatha sitting very close to her in second place. There'll be almost 2 lengths behind those to Times Square. Natasha, White Jacket, is chased along 3 lengths behind in 4th place. Oscula making progress on the inside of Who Knows. Asa, Ali and Zelia still the final pair there into the home straight. And on the left, Fleur de Ris continues to lead with Mikel Barcelona. Agatha in second place is ridden along to try and make progress. Behind those is Times Square a length back in third. Look out, Zelly towards the running rail, and Oscula right on the running rail as well now as it's Times Square leading. She swept through to the lead. Second position is Zellian trying to close. The others are up and down on the same spot. Times Square is very weary. Zelly and Asheen Murphy getting through against the running rail to take it up. And it is Zelly who goes on to win. She won by a length and a half. Times Square in second. Oscula, Agatha behind those two. Who Knows? Asa, Ali. Then at Fleur de Ris, pace setter and favourite. She'd be only one home, which was Natasha. And she looked to be struggling on the ground from about the halfway stage. So Zelly, number 2, winner for Andre Fabry. Had Raclette, it was taken out because of the ground, but he still won the race. Second
She's a
position
very
goes to
typey,
Times
pretty
Square,
filly,
Lovely.
I have to say. She's very nice.
Are they coming?
You know, I don't know for sure, but I will tell you this. A couple things, actually. This is the second 2-year-old to get their ticket punched to this year's Future Stars Friday by Wooten Bassett. And why that's significant is for a couple of reasons. Wooten Bassett, he actually has already sired a Breeders' Cup champion in Adaria, who won the filly and mare turf last year. Okay. And when he started his stud career, it started off, he was an undefeated 2-year-old in France, but it started off very modestly. I think he stood for like 6,000 euro. Okay. But then he sires freaking Al Manzour, who is a champion in Europe. I mean, like a multiple Group 1 winner across Europe. Just tremendously talented. You got Daria later from another crop. And so Coolmore acquired him. All right. So if he was already producing horses like this, right, of such quality in Al Manzour and Adaria, what is going to happen now that he's getting like the creme de la creme? Like I read that he got 244 mares this year since moving to Coolmore, and like you've got horses like the Few going to him, and just like, I mean, just really, really like big time names. I mean, the list is prolific of these mares that he is getting that he got in his book, rather,
Right.
bred to, and yet he's already produced such quality, right? The other scion of Wooten Bassett, who won a Breeders' Cup win in You're In this year for the Future Stars Friday card, is Royal Patronage, who won the Juddmonte Royal Lodge just recently.
Oh, I love the way that horse won. I remember that.
Yes, and the other thing that's really cool about
From nowhere.
Yeah, and the other thing that's really cool about Wooten Bassett is, and I think this is part of the reason why Coolmore is also very excited about him, is that he's going to offer a really nice outcross for Galileo and whatnot, because
Sorry if I seem distracted, it's because I am.
Oh, it's okay. Just make sure she doesn't destroy herself or the house, and we're good.
No, she's going for the sink, I think, with the chair.
The sink. Ava, was she going to do our dishes?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm going to hurry up and just say this.
Okay.
The Wooten Bassett himself is by Efrage, and then you know who you'll know whose family he hails from. He hails from the family of Keybridge, which produced the Key to the Mints and Fort Worthy. So we kind of have this connection to Wooten Bassett from that perspective here in America. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fun to see a horse jump up like this. I mean, it reminds me a lot of, you know, this modest beginning and turning into maybe a superstar stud like Dynaformer, right? He was overlooked in the beginning, and look what he ended up doing. Yeah, see, even in the background, wow, she says.
If you go back, do you find Graustark in that or not?
Oh, you're gonna make me.
What?
Give me a second, because I just. It's one of those things. Sometimes I can just talk, and sometimes off the top of my head, and then other times I'm like, I have to double check because I don't like to say anything stupid.
I remember as a kid, my dad loved Graustark.
Well, Graustark was very important, but also so it's his half. Hold on a second. I'm just looking for you to make sure I'm not missing something. You don't. No, it's not Graustark.
No, okay.
No Graustark for you. But it's still it is really cool again to see Key Bridge is a tail female descendant of Wooten Bassett, and I don't know, just the connection that comes with that. There is something I want to double check though for you real quick. So anyway, Matt, while I'm looking this up, from your perspective, who impressed you the most out of all these replays, whether they're going to Breeders' Cup or not, whether they were the actual winner of the respective races I showed you or not? Who impressed you most?
Wow. I mean, I do like what I'm seeing from Ain't Easy.
Okay.
I know the figure wasn't up there with Echo Zulu, but I kind of love her, everything about her right now, and the way she's moving forward. So I was very impressed with her. I mean, I didn't think anybody. I mean, you have races like this that we're talking about, the winners. None of them are going to look bad, right? So I didn't think anybody kind of like was, cringeworthy or wow. Ugh. Even the 70 buyer for one timer, I think we talked about why that number was probably so low. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, both the winners in New York were impressive. I thought. There's nothing bad to say about Jack Christopher.
What did you think?
Except for questioning the 2 turns. I mean,
do you think we give Witt another shot? I know
don't know.
Corey, has big hopes for that horse.
Yeah, he was kind of lost.
He did end up finishing 3rd. I don't know if I missed anything because obviously the replay I showed you was just a pan shot, not the head on. I don't know if I missed anything significant at the start of that race.
Right.
Other than he was slow from the blocks, you did hear that in the call.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like the hopeful.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he needs to break better, and it happens every once in a while. There's exceptions to everything, but you don't have too many horses, from the back of the pack win the Juvenile. It just doesn't happen very often. So he's got to find a way to at least be mid-pack.
You know what's a fun fact, by the way? Oh, sorry.
Huh?
You know what's a fun fact for you, by the way? Before I forget to interject it in. You mentioned how much you like Graustark. Did you know that the Flower Bowl Stakes is named after his dam?
Oh, really? No, I did not know that.
Did you know also he's a half brother to his man? Is he a half or a full? I can't remember. I might have to look that one up. But His Majesty, they're brothers.
Okay, it's funny you mentioned that because my dad loved His Majesty too. My dad bought His Majesty.
Yeah, full brothers because they're both by Rebo.
Yeah, my dad. Yeah,
not Reebok, but Rebo.
My dad bought did His Majesty run in Canada? Was he?
Am
I getting him mixed up with somebody?
He won the no. He won it. He was at like a Hialeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he won the Everglades Stakes. He stood at Darby Gann.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I hear a little Ava in the background. Okay, so these are the horses that won the Win in Your Ins this weekend. Just to remind everybody, we do have more Win and Your In action coming up this weekend. And okay, so let's see here. We've got on Friday because it's opening. It's opening week. It's Fall Stars weekend. Fall Stars weekend at Keeneland. Okay, so Friday. Again, the grade 1 Darley Alcibiades, that's a Win in Your In for the top Juvenile fillies. Oh, fine. Saturday, we've got the grade 1 Claiborne Breeders' Futurity, a Win in Your In for the TVG Juvenile presented by the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. We also have, let's see here, Sunday. We're going to start looking at the turf again at Keeneland for a Win in Your In for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint with the Indian Summer Stakes. And then we have on Sunday. Oh, wait, no, also, not only that, okay, not only do we have the Indian Summer for the Juvenile Turf Sprint, but we also have the Grade 2 Castle and Key Bourbon Stakes for the Juvenile Turf. And then we have on Sunday at Belmont Park, a win and you're in for the Juvenile Turf Sprints in the Grade 3 Futurity Stakes. And then the final ticket, not just for Future Stars Friday, but the final win and you're in of the Challenge Series itself for Breeders' Cup is going to be the Grade 2 JP Morgan Chase Jessamine, October 13th, a win and you're in for the Juvenile Fillies Turf. So
John Pearl won that last year.
Yeah. Oh, she blitzed. So yeah, and then what's your thought process now as we're getting this close to it? I mean, how long you really can't make a decision of anything really until you know what the set fields are, or at least you have the probables, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, just try to watch these races live, and then watch the replays a couple of times and make some notes that you make sure you don't lose or delete or throw away or whatever you do over the next few weeks, and try to find somebody that's a little more, someone to like a little more subtly than the horse who, the horse who wins by 6 with a big figure that everyone sees.
Right.
So those, because a lot of the winners in Breeders' Cup races are horses that they didn't necessarily win their race going into the Breeders' Cup.
And I guess one other question I'll have for you before we sign off here is, irrespective of 2-year-olds, I mean, out of any horse in training right now, who do you think right now is the best horse in training, period?
Oh, God.
You're hard to impress, so that's why I think it's a good question to ask.
The best horse in training.
Best horse in training right now.
I don't know. I think whoever you think, my answer would be whoever you think the best 3-year-old male is going to the Classic.
Is the 3-year-old going to win the Classic, you think?
I think they're better. Yeah, I think they're better. I think it's, yeah. I mean, I think Essential Quality is, with his running style, right? Is he going to be favored, right? I mean, it's going to be close, but I would think he's going to be your slight favorite. And then obviously Hot Rod Charlie's going to be fairly, one of your favorites. Medina Spirit's going to be one of your favorites.
Nick says domestic, as far as best horse of trading, domestic spending. Roshan's saying Nick's Go.
Nick's Go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He'll probably, I'm sorry. Yeah. Nick's Go. I guess he'll be your favorite. I still question him against Other Speed at 10 furlongs. I think that's
the question, because I think obviously any horse can get a distance depending on how much money or energy he has to expend to get the distance.
Yeah, everyone's like, well, he's fast in those horses. I don't know. Is he a lot? I mean, he's gonna have to work to clear. I mean, Medina Spirit is a fast, you know what? I mean, to clear him, I mean, you got to work a little bit. So maybe he can, but will that take anything out of him? It's gonna be fun. Domestic spending. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like somebody with an opinion.
Yeah, but I wonder though, like you're saying, are people going to hedge their bets on the assumption that Nick's Go is going to get caught up in a speed duel and get hooked and cooked, which then sets up for a closer like an Essential Quality?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. It's kind of one. Yeah, it's pretty obvious to look at it that way. I mean, I think that sometimes the obvious happens. So
there's just been so many times too where we're expecting like a pace meltdown to happen in a race that never materializes for one reason or the other. Either the horse who was the other speed doesn't fire, and the other horse ends up being lone speed, or those two horses just end up or whoever the speed is end up being so game together that they just take it all the way around, and the other horses never come to them because they never go back. So yeah, it really depends. All I can tell you is that the Classic, I think, is shaping up to just be like, I mean,
no, it's gonna be great. Nick's Go is unbelievably. His numbers are ridiculous. I think he only earned a 104 last week, but I mean, he was geared down. The number didn't even really matter. I don't think at Churchill, but we'll see. I mean, I think you can. The older horse division is not I mean, he's the only star in the older horse division, right? In that division, there's nobody else. So, I mean, Maxwell's a very good racehorse. I mean, maybe he'll get the setup. Brendan's done a great job with him. He has, kind of slightly off the pace style, but we'll see. I mean, I think you could argue, and nothing against Nick's Go. It's not his fault. He's a Breeders' Cup winner from last year at a mile. He's unbelievably fast. He puts up triple-digit buyers without even trying. He's unbelievable. But who is he beaten? I mean, I think you can legitimately ask that. I mean, when you're going to be favored in the Classic, you're going to bet a favorite in the Classic. You want everything to look perfect. And when you can look at who they've beaten, I mean, who's he? I don't know. And when he went over to Saudi Arabia, he lost. I know he won the Pegasus. Was that a great field that he faced? That, I mean, it's not his fault, but it's part of it. It's just there's not a lot of very good horses in the division.
I feel like that needs to be the next like Old Smoke T-shirt same because
who's he
beaten?
Well, you can ask that for a lot of horses, but I ask it more often with short price horses and favorites because I always say it's on the air all the time. It's like you're grading these horses. You're almost like a teacher when you're handicapping, you're grading, and when your top student, you probably shouldn't, but you're expecting more from their paper they turn in than somebody who's a 25-to-1 shot, right? So when you're looking at the favorite, you don't want to see any reason to give you pause.
Right.
I'm willing to bet a 20-to-1 shot, 15-to-1 shot, 10-to-1 shot, questioning who they've beaten because they're 10-to-1, 15, but at 2-to-1 or 9-to-5, we already kind of question the distance and there's other speed, and then you also question who they've been beating. It's just too much. I mean, for me, it is.
This is just.
If you think he's a great racehorse, maybe I'm not saying he's not. Maybe he'll be so much faster than Medina Spirit and Hot Rod Charlie. He'll set ridiculous fractions and he'll go on and score and earn a huge figure. I'm not saying he can't do that, but.
And what I also remember, I know that we've all just gone along with like the Knicks Go part, but his name's actually K Knicks Go, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody says that. I mean, they don't even call him that in races, I don't think.
No, it's just Knicks Go. He's become Knicks Go. But
I remember that from last year.
And I also, you got to give props to the patience that they gave this horse, to come back. Brad's really nurtured him into this like just incredible talent that he is now. And it's something to say that like you have your options. I mean, when you're a horse that you could go in the dirt mile or you can go in the Classic.
He's probably fast enough to run in the sprint if they trained him that way. I mean, seriously, he's an extremely gifted racer. Sure. Does that mean you bet him at 10 furlongs with other speed?
That's the question.
At 9-to-5.
And I know you like this is the thing that's fun about the both of us. Like,
I think the answer is no.
I obviously always look at things with a little sentimental slant, and you're just like, you totally are able to separate
for the most part.
Yeah. Oh gosh, no. Like you're able for your wager. You're like, yeah, sure, I'm a fan of this horse. I hope they lose today so I can make some money.
There's a reason why I don't really.
You bet against Zenyatta.
Oh, I need a Gio Ponte for size, but. There's a reason why I don't really watch football anymore because I bet on it for so many years. And when you bet on it for so many years, you bet with your mind, not your heart. So it's not like you don't really like teams. You're betting. So now that I don't bet football anymore, I mean, I guess I'm sort of a Vikings fan because I'm from Minnesota. So yay, go Vikings who are 1-3. But it's hard for me to sit through a football game without action, to be honest with you, because I don't really have I don't have an allegiance.
Spoken like a true degenerate, Matt. I'm joking.
For so many years. It sounds bad, but I mean, I don't need to sit, week 4, watch the Bengals play the whoever, for 4 hours. I just doesn't do anything for me.
The answer to this is no, but Gunrunner, again, he was close. I mean, he was second in the 2016 dirt mile, and then he won the Classic the next year.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, how many times has it happened? I mean, is there a big sample size of dirt mile?
I think there's only a few horses. I think there are only like Zenyatta is. There's a very short list of horses to win 2 divisions of the Breeders' Cup. You had Zenyatta win the distaff in the classic. You have Beholder winning the juvenile fillies, and then the distaff.
Right, but I'm saying, has there ever been another situation in which the dirt miler winner even competed in the classic the next year? I don't know.
I don't think so.
So
I'd really have to like get my historian, like researcher thinking cap on, but
right, so either no data or not enough data for it to be relevant.
Rashawn
right.
says Accelerate ran in the mile.
Right.
And then you won the classic.
Right. That was yeah.
Monomoy Girl. She's she's on a short list of horses who won the distaff twice. Monomoy Girl, Bayakoa, Royal Delta.
She won at 3 at 5 and didn't race at 4, right?
Right. And Beholder are the three that have won the distaff twice. Or the 4. Wait, 3. Wait, I can't even count anymore. Monomoy Girl, Bayakoa, Royal Delta, Beholder. 4 horses have won the distaff twice. But I don't think because Monomoy Girl didn't run in the juvenile thing. Right? Because I'm like, I look at so many horses through so many timelines throughout like generation after generation. Everything starts to blur together. Yeah, she didn't run in. She didn't run in the juvenile fillies. But the other thing talk about Monomoy real quick. The thing that was cool about her also was the fact that you'll remember when we were in the barn with Brad after Essential Quality had won the juvenile. We were talking about the next day, and he said, "There's Monomoy Girl," and he was talking about she was training so well that if the classic were the distance of the distaff, he would have put her in with the boys.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's all I had to know, that she was going to win.
I think you singled her in all your tickets after you said that. But yeah,
I wasn't alone.
All right. Well, usually you try to beat favorites, but if the trader's telling you that this horse could like take on the boys in the classic, I think at that point you kind of have to just like say, okay, in this case, we'll take the short price as a free square and try to find another single as well. But okay, everybody, that's it. That's your recap of all the Win and You're In action. I actually went way longer than I thought I was going to go. I have to get up super early tomorrow, for me anyway. I know a lot of people get up like even earlier than what I'm intending to do tomorrow, but Breeders' Cup is going to be bringing you something really fun in combination with some of our farm partners. And we're going to get the ball rolling on what this fun thing is tomorrow. You won't be able to see it yet, but I assure you it's going to be fun. It's going to be something that you're going to enjoy. And hopefully I do my share of the work to make it special. So I'll tease you with that. And Matt, thank you so much for joining me. And Ava, if you can hear me in the background, you've been pretty good, I gotta say, throughout this nearly 2 hours. So thank you, baby girl. All right, everybody. Ren Carruthers, Matt Carruthers in the background, Ava Carruthers. This has been your Future Stars forecast on a 2-year-old Tuesday. Check you back here next week.